The Beginning of the New Time by Benjamin Krem's Master. The Master Speaks, Volume 2, page 51. Patiently, we, your elder brothers, await the response of men, knowing as we do so that the vast majority of people, when they know and understand the true situation now present on earth, will agree that only radical change will forestall calamity. One problem has been that the average person knows little of the enormous vested interests which control the affairs of men, and which, for the most part, work against the needs and rights of countless millions. At the moment, 80% of the world's wealth is owned by a small number of families and institutions. Much of that wealth is static, invested in estates, ships, gold, jewels, and works of art, benefiting thereby but few. Such imbalance confounds the efforts of governments everywhere to establish societies based on relative social justice. So old and so entrenched is this imbalance that only a Herculean effort, or world economic disaster, will shake its hold. Faced with this situation, governments are at a loss to manage their nation's affairs and simultaneously compete with others for markets. The result, inevitably, is recurring chaos, instability, and a chronic lack of money for essential services and foreign aid. The world's poor continue to suffer, therefore, and pray silently for change. Some, less silent, join the growing number of the world's terrorist groups. How then to break this vicious circle of inherited wealth, stagnation, and revolutionary hatred and violence? Maitreya, on his emergence, will address this problem and show its mechanism and negative effect on all aspects of life, national and international. He will show that only a just and fair distribution of the world's wealth will realize the peace that all desire, that sharing alone will create the trust that makes such a distribution possible, that men have no alternative. All other ways have been tried and have failed, and the sands are running out. Thus will the Great One speak. Thus will he raise the consciousness of men and help them to understand the reasons for their plight. He will show that such imbalance is insupportable in a world so interdependent and facing so many perilous problems, that only a rational transformation of our now defunct structures will allow men to advance into the future and to build a civilization worthy of the name. When men hear his words, they will divide into three groups. One will with full heart respond to his thoughts and answer his appeal for their engagement. One will form a blockade of opposition and affront. A third, smaller number will sit anxiously aside. Gradually, it will become obvious that change must be tried at least, and some experiments will be undertaken. This will convince many of the feasibility of sharing and lead to the day of declaration, the signal that the new time has begun.